You know, when you walk around and you see a cool, tall building and you start imagining how it is to live in one of the top apartments with a view to the ocean? Well, luckily for me, or not, I sometimes find these apartments for sale and I get to look inside and see how they actually look like. And I am shocked. So continue watching if you want to see why, or if you would like some visual torture. So the story goes like this. Every time we go to Santa Cruz de Tenerife, as you enter the city from the southern highway, there are two tall buildings with apartments. Every time we pass by there, I always imagine it must be awesome to live here. They're tall, so you can live in one of the top floors, and then you would have probably a super view to the ocean and to the surroundings. And then I always go one step further than that, and I imagine the interiors of those apartments. I just assume that the apartments must be exceptional. So basically I look at that building and in my head there's already a Pinterest board rolling in with all the inspiration for those apartments. So we have these visuals, right? Very nice. Are your expectations raised and your assumptions as clear as mine? Because I found one of these apartments listed on a real estate site, and this is how it actually looks like. Also, I must mention a disclaimer, these are my opinions, which are subjective, debatable, and personal to me only. So please take them lightly and don't take it personally. They're just opinions on the internet, okay? Yeah. So actually I found two apartments with almost identical floor plans, but I'm gonna start with this one because it's the most juicy and with the most stuff. So I just have to start with this one. I guess it's alright to say that this apartment has strong Eastern European influences. So let me take you room by room. I'm gonna start with the living room, which is very big and has so much potential. It's an awesome space actually. It has double height, which for an apartment in an apartment building is extremely rare. I mean, yeah, of course, if you don't take into account New York, but Europe. It seems very big though. Yeah, as I said, it seems almost too big, like it would be difficult to arrange different spaces in it. And you can see this, that basically in the main space of the living room, they made two areas, one just for watching TV and one just for talking. But the couch and the armchairs for talking are on the opposite sides of the room, which means that there's probably 4 meters in between them, so you cannot do any talking like this, like to the other person at the other side of the room. I'm gonna move on to the dining room, which is basically another area of this big space. Obviously, many chairs and also a smaller table just to follow the principle of doubling everything. I don't know, maybe this is the kids' table. But you know what's really fancy here? They have a tall wine fridge, and this is very interesting and impressive. And only people who really care about wine would buy this kind of fridge. It doesn't need to be suspended on another piece of furniture, but it's actually the simplest piece of furniture that they have in this room, so I take it. So the living dining has a total of 4 carpets, 4 armchairs, 2 couches, which seems reasonable for such a big space, and 10 tables. 10 tables, yeah? Which I really feel that they've added just because it was very difficult to fill this big space. Also, this is very curious. There's a walkway around this whole living area. Basically, from the second floor, you can go onto this and like look down onto the living room, but it's very, very narrow. You can see that we don't have any furniture in there. They couldn't put anything in there. And I fail to understand why they have this. Why is this walkway just for the windows? It's like, do you want to see the view from like 3 meters higher? Because the view cannot be that different just with 3 meters higher, right? You're already in the penthouse, like it's not much of a change, that 3-meter difference between levels. But I'm actually thinking maybe they made this walkway just to clean the windows. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the functional reason for it and move on. So I like that the office is open to the living room. I don't know how this would work in real life, because if someone would work and someone watch TV, no, that actually wouldn't work. I mean, it looks nice, and dramatic and so on, but I don't know if it would actually work. But again, this is so much furniture. They have in the office 2 desks, and I don't get it. Why is the second desk in the corner? That's not even nice to stand in the corner at your desk, you know? Is it just for printing? Or is it for like someone else to have like a tiny desk there, like an assistant or someone else? I hope not. I mean, they have enough rooms to have like a second office in this house actually, so. I actually like the art piece on the wall, the blue big one. Of course, it doesn't match anything like even remotely, but I think that art piece would have potential to match my imaginary Pinterest board for this apartment, so I'm gonna take it. The kitchen doesn't have bed layout, it's very straightforward. You go in, you have stuff on either side. And I also like that it's closed, so they didn't think this apartment with a huge open space with kitchen, living and dining. I personally find closed kitchens more functional and practical. But anyway, that's not like, yeah, I appreciate that. But really, dark wood, bright orange and green all in the same space. Really? You know that someone actually had to put effort into like picking orange and green. Like they actually thought that orange and green would be better. Like they could have just picked white. They could have just put everything in one color. They could have put just everything in dark wood and paint the walls white, but they actually chose other things, right? So actually someone put an effort into making these choices. And then at the end of this space, they have the breakfast nook, which again is like, it's a very cool space. Also the table, you know, like the table could have been just black and white with circles and would have been so kind of like on trend now. But they thought, like whoever made this table thought, you know, this is not special enough. Black and white is not enough. We might add some flowers to it, green, because if the people don't have flowers, they will have flowers automatically engraved on the table forever. I again assume this is what they thought. Okay, moving on to the bedroom. Very curious, they have open cupboards here, even though they have walk-in dressing at, like in one space of the house. So they said, yeah, we're just gonna make new cupboards and might as well leave them open. My comments on this are again they're not even, you know, they're not even subjective. They're very objective. That means that the clothes get dusty way sooner. And also, if they are in the room with windows and the sun hits them, that means that they will be sun damaged, obviously. Sun is objective. It damages everything from our skin to the clothes. And it's also curious that they made this choice because this apartment has many rooms and they could have had just a room which would have been just a walk-in dressing. But yeah, like that is really personal choice. Where do you want your clothes to be? Okay, then we have another bedroom. Okay, no, sorry, this is, sorry. This is the entertainment room because it has two armchairs facing a prehistoric TV. You know, actually this could be a very nice office or hobby room or even entertainment room if they had a projector and a cozy couch. Also, why are these carpets in the hallways and in the bathrooms? You know, the first thing I'm thinking when I see all these carpets everywhere, it must be a nightmare to clean them. I imagine the cleaning lady being, oh boy, here I go, you know? That apartment with 6 rooms and 60 carpets. And like, oh, the one in the bathroom is still wet, but oh well. I appreciate that they designed this space. Seeing this, I realized that there is no laundry room in this apartment. Like a room which has the washing machine, maybe the dryer, and also, if not, like a place to put the drying rack. But yeah, I noticed that sometimes architects miss designing these service spaces like laundry room because they don't do any housework and they just forget it exists. But if you do it and you know that you don't like to look at the laundry rack in the living room, you design that space. I think there is one man living in this 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 2-story apartment. And objectively, that is a lot for one person. I think it would be a lot even for 2 people. I think the apartment size would be more suited for a family, but I don't think that this apartment in particular is tailored towards the family somehow because of the walkway. I don't know, it feels like you would never want kids to walk around that walkway. You know how I feel at the end of this review after the initial wave of disappointment has washed away? I actually feel that this apartment has a lot of potential and can be very functional, creative and playful and cozy and make the most out of the views. And I actually go again to my imagination phase and I imagine all the ways and this could be better. So let me know. I'm actually thinking maybe it would be fun to do like a redesign of this, the way I would do it 100%. Let me know if that would be interesting. I have a second part of this video. So interestingly, I found an apartment in either the same building or the building right next to it. Here's how this one looks like. And can we say that the owner of this one has probably the opposite taste of the Eastern European apartment? It's so interesting because in my personal taste, I tend to like maximalism and lots of stuff. But even this apartment was too much. It was too much even for me. This one, I would call this one the 90s minimalist apartment. Unfortunately, this is not up my alley either. But I must admit, the view from this one as well is wow, 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 wow. Half of the price of these two apartments is the view, for sure. I'm just gonna go way quicker room by room because there's way less furniture and way things to talk about because it's minimal. So the living room feels, again, very big. Of course, even bigger than the other one because it has less furniture. I feel like there's a lot of space and something is missing somehow. But it definitely misses the coziness factor. It's not cozy, it's not a cozy space. The bedrooms are, again, minimal to the point of being cold again. Looking at the photos, I am more and more convinced that there is no one living here. There are no personal touches of any way in this apartment. There's no art. There's, again, zero cozy. I call this zero cozy. For this one, I will actually refer to the bathroom, which I didn't refer into the other one because it was already too much. For this one, I have a very big remark. How come this bathroom can host a 4-people jacuzzi, but again, they don't have a laundry room? It's like, what are you gonna do more often? Sit in the jacuzzi or do laundry? Again, maybe I'm super practical here because we're doing laundry every week and it's something that is done so often that if I could have like a huge apartment and have a space just for that, even if it would be small and minimal, I would still gladly have that than have a super big bathroom with a jacuzzi in it. It's weird choices, weird choices. Weird, like choices like nobody has ever lived in this apartment. Can you imagine the... So can we imagine in this like very minimal apartment, very clean lines, very cold and so on, can you imagine a drying rack? Drying rack in the living room or drying rack bedroom. I mean, they have an empty bedroom, they can just put the drying rack. From the photos of this apartment, I can actually see more of the views because there's no curtains or anything. And the views are awesome. You can see the whole side of the island. Because it's so high and it's on 2 sides of the tower. Basically, you have like from the corner 180 view. So you would see both sides of the island, the ocean. Half of the price of this apartment is the view. I'm just gonna mention how much these apartments are. The Eastern European apartment is 1.2 million euros and this one, the minimum one, is like 1.5. Fairly. There's different work to be done in each of them. Yeah, basically my conclusion is never assume what an apartment might look like just looking at the building. I know it's very silly, but I just get like very far away in my imagination and then I see these apartments and like I'm pretty much entertained. I'm entertained by the assumptions in my head versus the reality. So yeah, go everywhere with an open mind. Anything can be changed. Enjoy seeing these bits of people's lives and choices. If you like this video, I think you would enjoy my previous video in which I cover some questions that you should never ask with property viewings. Watch that. And I'll see you soon.